Hello, I'm doing a tutorial. Let me turn this air conditioner down a little bit because I'm sitting right underneath it. Okay, maybe it won't be so loud now and you can hear me, because sometimes I forget about the air conditioner and you can't hear me. Okay, I'm doing a tutorial today on making a 18-inch doll dress. And it's from this panel piece that I got from fabric.com. I don't know if you can see it that well. This is the front piece here, and you get two back pieces. Whoops. Okay, here's a back piece here. Let me zoom you out a little bit so you can see a little better. There we go. Alright, here's one back piece. There's the other back piece, and then here's the front. Okay, and so all you have to do when you get your panel is just cut along the black dotted line, and then you'll get your fabric. How easy is that? You know, you don't have to go out and buy a pattern. Okay, so it said the first thing you're supposed to do is you're supposed to make a 2-inch line down each one of these triangle things, which are going to eventually turn into pleats, and use invisible, not invisible, but disappearing ink, and for fabric markers only. And this is the one that I use. I got it from Joann's. It's an air erasable pen. Air erasable pen. And it says please, oh, it says to use a patch test first, but I already know how it's going to work. So I made my lines down. I don't know if you can see the lines or not, but I made my lines down, and there's supposed to be 6 of them. There's 1, whoops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 over here. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is you want to make a fold on that line that you did. You don't necessarily have to use straight pins if you don't want to, but I'm going to. So I'm going to put a straight pin at the top and then one at the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to do I'm going to do all the lines. That way I have them all pinned. I don't have to keep going back and do them each individually. That way I can go from one line to the other and just keep continuously sewing. I've had this fabric for a while, and I'm just now getting around to making the outfits. I bought 4 panels, and so this panel here, it makes the sleeveless dress, it makes a jacket, and it makes a clutch purse. Now you can do your own accessorizing when it comes to decorating the dress. If you want to put lace on, or if you want to do buttons instead of Velcro, you can do that because it calls for Velcro, 4-inch strip. I'm going to do the Velcro. Oh, and you need bias tape, single fold, I believe it is. Oh, double fold. Ooh, I've got single fold here. Okay, I'll have to see if I have any double fold. If not, I'll use the single. It doesn't, well, I can make a, oh, and then it says you need an accent button, which is 3/8 or a 1/2-inch button, which I have a lot of buttons, and I forgot to pull one out, so I'll do that later when it gets to that point. I like to collect buttons because I never know when I'm going to want to use a certain button for a certain something. So I have all kinds of buttons. I have so many different colors, and I have some vintage and I have some new. Okay, I'm on my 6th one now, so this is the last one that I'm going to pin. Okay, so when you get sewing, this is what the front of the dress is going to look like. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do one line, and then I'll show you what the it's supposed to look like when you're done with it. Oh, and it says to use a 1/4 inch width on the seam. So normally your regular sewing foot is going to be a 1/4 inch wide anyhow. So that's how I measure the 1/4 inch. Okay, make sure I get everything out of the way here. Okay, and I want it on the 2-inch line, which is right here. And you do a back stitch. You go a couple of stitches and then you do a back stitch. So that's what I'm going to do. It even tells you that in the instructions. Alrighty. You get this one pin out of the way because it's going to be in the way of my sewing foot. Pull this pleat over a little bit. Okay. Alright, here we go. I need to adjust my stitch width here. There we go. And then go my back up. Okay, there you go. There's your 1/4 inch seam right there. Well, it'll help if I turned it toward your way, huh? There's your 1/4 inch seam right there, going 2 inches down. Okay, so I'm going to finish doing all these, and when I come back, then I'll have everything done. Okay, I'm back. Alright, this is the inside of the dress. Let me bring the camera around. Alright, this is the inside of the dress. That's all the sewing that I did, and it said to press your pleats toward the inside. So what you do is you take the 3 on this side and press it this way, like my finger, and you take these 3 and press it this way, and then that's what the front looks like. Alright, let's see what the next step is. Stitch shoulder seams joining pleated front to back pieces. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take, this is the right side, this is the wrong side. Right side, wrong side. So you're going to do right side to right side. So you're going to take this piece here and line it up at the shoulder. And then you're going to take the other piece and line it up at the shoulder. Okay? And the way you can tell which piece goes where is, here's the round part of the armhole. So you know this is going to be on this side because that's the armhole. Here's the armhole for the front piece, the armhole for the back piece. And then on this side, here's the armhole on this side, and then the armhole on this side. Okay, so it says to sew them together using, let's see, well, it doesn't say, but you're going to be using a 1/4 inch seam. So just like you did the pleats, and you know that your presser foot is 1/4 inch. So that's how you measure your 1/4 inch. Okay. This is an old machine. I love this machine. Oh, my thread came out. I love this machine. My mother gave it to me a long time ago. It's a Kenmore 158850. It is from 1960, or it's the early 60s. I looked it up and I think it said that it's 1960 is when they were made. This is the original cabinet that the machine came in. I have all the original parts to it. I haven't had to put a new motor or anything in, so that's good. No, and no new belt. I tell you, the way they used to make sewing machines, they don't make them that good anymore. I don't really care about the plastic machines. I've been looking for a sewing machine for my granddaughter, but I want one that's as good as what I have here. And so I'm looking for a Singer featherweight. I don't want a toy sewing machine for her. I want a nice real sewing machine for her. So that's why I'm looking for a featherweight, because they're real machines. And it's the perfect size for her. And they do just a regular straight stitch. This one does a straight stitch and it does decorative stitches, but you have to have the discs that go up here for your decorative stitches. All I have is 2 types of zigzag and a straight stitch. And I'm looking for more discs. And I haven't found any yet, but I'm looking. I know they're out there somewhere. Okay, I did the shoulders, so there you go. There's 1 and there's 2. Now we're going to turn it right side out, and I'm going to show you what the dress looks like so far. I'm going to hold the side seams together. My hand. Okay, here you go. See, that's the front of the dress. And there's the back. Alright, now what do we do next? I think we put the Velcro on next. No, we do the double fold bias tape. And all I have is single folds, so finished neck and armhole edges. Alrighty. I do all my stocking up on my notions when they're on sale. Hobby Lobby always has the best sales on this kind of stuff. Let's see, this was $1.79. I paid half price, so that was what, 74 cents I paid for this bias tape. So I love their sales. So whenever they have a sale going on, I always stock up. Okay, the way that you do bias tape is you open one side like this, and you're gonna want to follow this line for your sewing. I don't know if you can see that line or not, the fold line. You want to follow that for your sewing. So what you're going to do is put it on the neck. Okay, so we're going to put it on the neck, starting at the back. You know what? I'm going to fold over a little bit. So I'm going to open the end so I can fold over. You're going to want to fold inward, and then put it on the neckline. That way you have a nice clean finish. Okay, and then you're just going to want to open the bias tape as you go around the neckline and pin it. Always pin. And I never cut off until I'm through sewing, because you never know. You might need that extra and you already sewed it on. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm going around the neckline. Open up your shoulder seam right here like I did, like that. Open it up so it lays flat. Going over the pleats. That's it. I'm going to need to trim the neckline a little bit, and I'll show you why I think so here in a second. I always use these patterns, paper patterns, or like the pattern for this dress, just as a guide, because I can pretty much sew these without a pattern, but I use them as a guide sometimes. And I'm going to go step by step for you on this dress, and then I'm going to make the jacket and the purse. But those are going to be different videos, and I'm going to have them labeled somehow. I'll figure out a label for them. You know, I'll have like dress, then I'll have another video that says purse, and another video that says jacket. Okay, you see I didn't cut the bias tape off when I got to the end right here. I'm leaving it just like that. Alright, so the reason why I think I need to trim the neckline is you see the little points sticking up, but I'm going to wait until after I sew first. Okay. Yeah, you always look for sales on your notions, thread and anything you're going to need. I always start slow when I start doing a seam, and take my pins out as I go and keep everything lined up, because you want everything to be right on that neckline. You don't want it going over, because when you get through, you're going to be folding it over to the other side. I've been sewing for so many years. I make my own clothes. This shirt I have on I made was a top. It's a pullover. It's from an old vintage pattern. And I found this beautiful fabric at Joann's, and they had it on clearance. I think I paid like $1 a yard, and I only got 1 yard because I knew exactly what I was going to use it for. I should have taken what was left on the bolt, but I didn't. Sometimes I do that when I find a really good bargain. But most of the time I get my fabrics at yard sales, thrift stores. And so I have a lot of vintage fabrics, but this one just stuck out at me, so to take me home. So that's what I did. When I looked at it, I said, that's going to make a pretty top for me. So, alrighty. Through here. This is the best sew machine. I have never had any problems with this machine. Now watch, I say something about it nice and then it's going to act up on me. But anyhow, I never have any problems with this machine. This is the best sew machine that I own. I love it. I sew on this more than anything else. Okay, I'm all through the seam, the neckline. See there? And I left the extra. I didn't cut anything off. Well, I'm getting ready to now. So I'm going to cut just a little bit off, enough where I can fold over that seam, that end of on the bias tape, like I did the other side. Okay, roll this up and put me a pin in and save it for another project. Okay, here's the threads for the beginning. Alrighty, so now, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to say to fold it over. Oh, I have to do the armhole edges too. I forgot about the armholes. Okay, so you're going to be doing the same thing on the armholes.